One of these cameras is the best 360 camera of 2020. So which one is it? Let's find out. The first camera is the GoPro MAX, which released in October 2019. It weighs 154 grams. It's the first ever consumer 360 camera to have a touchscreen, first to be waterproof up to 5 meters without a case. It has the most natural and most beautiful color science, first ever 360 camera to have amazing sound quality from the built-in microphones, and the first to offer voice control. The second camera is the Insta360 ONE R, which released in January 2020. It weighs 130.5 grams. It's the first ever modular consumer 360 camera, so there's no compromise between flat 4K 60 frames per second video recording and 5.7K 30 frames per second 360 video recording. It's the first to offer a front and back facing screen, first to offer AI video editing. It's the first to offer a 1-inch mod add-on. It has the best range of 360 camera accessories. It's the first to offer replaceable lenses without having to send the 360 camera back for repair, and it's the first Insta360 camera which allows you to plug in an external microphone. The third camera is the Insta360 ONE X, which released in October 2018, and it weighs only 115 grams. It's the first ever consumer 360 camera to make 360 video accessible to everyone. It's the smallest, lightest and thinnest 360 camera ever made with the most seamless stitch line. It's the first to offer HDR 360 video. It has the best range of accessories, and it's the first to offer Premiere Pro no-stitch workflow. Last but not least, the Kandao Qoocam 8K, which released in December 2019, and it weighs 245 grams. This is the first ever 8K consumer 360 camera. It's the first to have a 3.5mm audio jack, first to have the largest touchscreen, first to have a 1/2-inch sensor size, first to have built-in storage, first to offer higher slow motion video setting, 4K 120 frames per second, and the first to offer 10-bit color. As of 20th June 2020, you can pick up the GoPro MAX for £460. You can pick up the Insta360 ONE R with the 4K mod for £440. You can pick up the Insta360 ONE X for £410, and you can pick up the Kandao Qoocam 8K for £529. For more specs, visit best360.camera to compare all the specs side by side. Let's jump straight into some video tests. This is an internal microphone test with no software enhancements on, one step away from the 360 cameras. When the universe was young, the sky was filled with planets and stars and stardust and many rocks. One of these rocks was a bit more special than the rest. She was unlike any other that came before her. She was a kind and happy rock who always floated near a big blue planet. Sometimes when the light hit her surface, she would glow a brilliant green. At times like those, she almost didn't look like a rock at all. As the sky moved from day to day and week to week, the rock would see planets far off in the distance. She would wonder what it would be like to go to them. Week after week and month after month, she would wonder. until one day she decided to go and find out. The rock had never gone anywhere before and wasn't sure how to go about it. She started to rock back and forth, then she started to spin. Soon enough she was flying through the sky. The ONE R and Qoocam 8K are the only cameras to provide the ability to plug in an external microphone, so let's see how they perform with the Rode Wireless Go. When the universe was young, the sky was filled with planets and stars and stardust and many rocks. One of these rocks was a bit more special than the rest. She was unlike any that came before her. She was a kind and happy rock who always floated near a big blue planet. Sometimes when the light hit her surface, she would glow a brilliant green. At times like those, she almost didn't look like a rock at all. As the sky moved from day to day and week to week, the rock would see planets far off in the distance. She would wonder what it would be like to go to them. Week after week and month after month, she would wonder, until one day she decided to go and find out. The rock has never gone anywhere before and wasn't sure how to go about it. She started to rock back and forth, then she started to spin. Soon enough, she was flying through the sky. When it comes to stabilization, all the 360 cameras perform exceptionally well, so they are all equal winners in this department. This is a slow motion test of me running past the camera, and all the 360 cameras are set to their highest slow motion mode. Here I have the sides of the 360 cameras facing me, so when I move closer and further away from the 360 cameras, you can see how the stitch line will react. The GoPro Max has built-in GPS, but according to GoPro's website, you can only overlay GPS data when recording in hero mode. The ONE R and ONE X does not have built-in GPS, but you can record GPS data using your phone or the GPS smart remote, and then you can overlay the GPS data using the app. The Qoocam 8K also does not have built-in GPS, but you can save location information using your phone. The GoPro Max can shoot standard JPEG photos, not RAW, and it can also shoot a time-lapse. The ONE R has a standard photo mode which can shoot JPEG and RAW, a HDR mode, a burst mode, a time-lapse mode, and a night shot mode. The ONE X has a standard photo mode which can shoot JPEG and RAW. It has a HDR mode and a time-lapse mode. Kandao Qoocam 8K has a standard photo mode which can shoot JPEG and RAW, a HDR mode, a time-lapse mode, and DNG8 mode. If you want to take long low light exposure photos, the lowest shutter speed you can achieve on the GoPro Max is 1/125th of a second. The ONE R is 120 seconds. Yes, you heard me correctly, 120 seconds. The ONE X is 55 seconds and the Qoocam 8K is 1 second. The GoPro Max user interface gives you full camera control. You can change modes between video, photo, and time-lapse mode. You can set manual settings like ISO, shutter speed, and white balance, set a flat color profile, set the sharpness, set wind noise reduction on, capture 360 spherical sound or stereo sound, playback footage, but you can't look around your 360 preview. You can only look at the front and back. The ONE R also gives you full camera control. You can change modes between video, photo, and time-lapse mode, set manual settings like ISO, shutter speed, and white balance, set a flat color profile, playback footage, and you can look around your 360 video to preview it. The ONE X gives you partial camera control. There's no touchscreen, so you can change modes between video, photo, and time-lapse mode, but you have limited control over ISO, shutter speed, and white balance. You cannot preview footage, and you cannot play back footage. Qoocam 8K has full camera control. You can change modes between video, photo, and time-lapse mode, change manual settings like ISO, shutter speed, and white balance, playback footage, and look around your 360 video preview. I did a battery test where I charged all of these cameras to 100%. I switched them all to their highest video recording mode, press record. I then timed how long it would take for all of their batteries to run flat. The GoPro Max recorded in 5.6K 30 frames per second for 80 minutes non-stop from 100% to 0% battery. So you can expect around 65 minutes to 80 minutes of battery life on a single charge. The ONE R recorded 5.7K 30 frames per second non-stop for 30 minutes from 100% to 50% battery. Then I got the overheating message, so I had to stop the recording. So you can expect around 45 minutes to 60 minutes of battery life on a single charge. The ONE X recorded 5.7K 30 frames per second video for 60 minutes non-stop from 100% battery to 0%. So you can expect around 45 to 60 minutes of battery life on a single charge. The Qoocam 8K recorded 8K 30 frames per second video for 45 minutes non-stop from 100% to 50% battery. Then I had to stop the recording because the camera was getting dangerously hot, but that was because I set the internal fan to off. So I did the test again with the fan on, and the Qoocam 8K recorded 8K 30 frames per second for 80 minutes non-stop from 100% battery to 0% battery. So you can expect around 65 minutes to 80 minutes of battery life on a single charge. The GoPro Max is waterproof up to 5 meters, but there is no official case to dive deeper into the water. The ONE R is waterproof up to 5 meters inside this mounting bracket, and you can also make it waterproof up to 30 meters with the dive case. Just a quick note on the ONE R waterproofness. Let's say you plan to take it for surfing. It's possible that the pressure of the waves while surfing is as high as the pressure 5 meters below the water. So you might want to consider the dive case for extra precaution. And just a note on the dive case, that the dive case is not invisible at the nadir of the case, which is the bottom. So you just need to hold it a certain way where the nadir is facing the part of the footage where you don't care about, and when you reframe your 360 video, it will not show up in your final edit. The ONE X is not waterproof whatsoever. There are 2 cases for the ONE X. The first one is the venture case, which makes it waterproof up to 5 meters. You'll get a seamless stitch line above the water, but with the case in the water, you will not get a seamless stitch line. The second one is the dive case, which is for diving 30 meters below the water. With that one, you will get a seamless stitch line around the case, but just like the ONE R dive case, you will still see the nadir at the bottom of the footage. The Qoocam 8K is not waterproof whatsoever, but there is a dive case in development, so you can take it 30 meters below the water. The GoPro Max has its own GoPro style mounting fingers, which is perfect for extreme action sports. The ONE R also uses GoPro mounting fingers when it's inside the mounting bracket, which makes it perfect for extreme action sports. It does have a GoPro tripod adapter in the box, so you can screw it on easily to a tripod or monopod. The ONE X has a 1/4" screw thread on the bottom, and it is very fragile. So if you're going to use it for extreme action sports, then you need a third-party case like the Elanzi frame cage. The Qoocam 8K has a 1/4" screw thread on the bottom, and it is a little heavy. You can't use this for extreme action sports. Best used when it's still or when there's little amounts of movement. The GoPro Max comes with 2 lens covers to protect each lens, so you just put it on like that, and when you're going to start filming, you just need to take it off like that. It is kind of annoying that you got to do it each time, twice, and you also get these lens covers in the box, which you can put on when you're doing extreme action sports, but it does affect the video quality. The ONE R has a really nice lens cap which protects both lenses, and it's just really easy to slip on. That's it, it's done, and it has really good protection, and when you want to film, just take it off. Really simple. If you want extra protection for your ONE R lenses, then you can get the ONE R lens guards, which is an additional purchase. The Insta360 ONE X came with this pouch, which you can put around your neck, and it's really convenient because the ONE X just goes in here, and especially when I was on holiday, you have a small and light camera around your neck, which you can't even feel, and you have really easy access to it. It's just so convenient. The Qoocam 8K comes with this pouch, which you can really easily slip on like this, but I do wish it just had a little bit more padding around the lens area. Only the GoPro Max and ONE R has voice control, so let's test it. GoPro, start recording. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, turn off. Amazing. Now for the ONE R. Start recording. Stop recording. Stop. Well, it did it eventually, but it's a little bit slow. The number one issue with 360 cameras is that everyone at some point will break one of their 360 camera lenses. So what's the process if you break each one of these lenses. If you break your GoPro Max lens, there is no repair service. You either have to buy a brand new GoPro Max or use GoPro Plus, where they'll give you up to 2 camera replacements per year because of accidental damage. Luckily, the ONE R is modular, so if you do break your 360 mod, then all you need to do is buy another 360 mod, which costs £180. If you break your ONE X, then you either need to buy a brand new ONE X, or you can go through the Insta360 repair service, which will cost £90 per lens, plus you need to pay shipping fees and the waiting time. If you break your Qoocam 8K lens, then you either need to buy a brand new one, or you can use Kandao's repair service. It will cost £160 per lens, plus the shipping fees and waiting time. I did a test where I transferred 1 minute of 360 footage in the highest video resolution from the camera to the app, and this is the result. GoPro Max transferred 1 minute of 5.7K footage via Wi-Fi in 39 seconds. Insta360 ONE R transferred 1 minute of 5.7K footage via Wi-Fi in 1 minute of 32 seconds. The Insta360 ONE X transferred 1 minute of 5.7K video via Wi-Fi in 1 minute 2 seconds, and the Qoocam 8K transferred 1 minute of 8K video via Wi-Fi in 3 minutes. But you can actually edit files directly from the ONE R without transferring it to the app, which means the ONE R actually has the fastest mobile workflow out of any of these cameras. When it comes to editing 360 video on a computer, you need a minimum spec of an i7, 16GB RAM and 4GB of graphics. Now here's the workflow for each of these cameras on desktop. The first thing you need to do is transfer the .360 files from your GoPro Max to your PC. You cannot import .360 files directly into a video editor. You must first convert the .360 files into H.264, H.265, or ProRes first. But here's the catch. You can only export 5.6K video to ProRes on PC. ProRes will give you the best video quality, but the file sizes are huge. A 1 minute 5.6K 360 video recorded with the GoPro Max is roughly 433 meg. After I run that .360 file through GoPro Max Exporter and export it into a ProRes file, that file size is now 3.19 gig for a 1 minute file. So storing the .360 file and the ProRes file will eat up a lot of your hard drive space very quickly. The next best alternative is to export your 5.6K video into a 4K H.264 or H.265 video file. This will give you a smaller file size but a lower resolution. And as you can see here, I cannot export my 5.6K video into H.264 or H.265, and this is a very big limitation on Windows. On Mac, however, you can export your 5.6K video file into H.264, H.265 and ProRes. The next step is to import your ProRes, H.264 or H.265 video file into your favorite video editor like Premiere Pro, Final Cut or Power Director, and edit your reframed or immersive 360 video, and then export your final video. The ONE R and ONE X has the exact same desktop workflow. The fastest way to edit Insta360 footage is using Premiere Pro. Insta360 cameras records 2 INSV files per 5.7K 360 video, one for the back lens, one for the front lens, and they record 1 INSV file for 4K resolution videos and lower resolution videos. Next, you transfer the INSV files from the Insta360 cameras to your PC, and then you import your INSV files directly into Premiere Pro. There is no need for video conversion because there is a plugin by Insta360 which allows you to drag and drop your INSV files directly into Premiere Pro when you install Insta360 Studio. Then you can edit your 360 footage using the GoPro FX Reframe plugin, or edit your immersive 360 video and then export your final video. If you do not have Premiere Pro, then you need to convert your .INSV files to either H.264, H.265 or ProRes using Insta360 Studio, and then you can import your exported files into your favorite video editor and then edit your reframed 360 video or immersive 360 video and then export your final video. The Qoocam 8K records a single .mov file per 360 video. Next, you transfer the .mov files from the Qoocam 8K to your PC. You cannot import the .mov files directly into a video editor. Next, you need to use Qoocam Studio to convert the .mov files to H.264, H.265 or ProRes files. Then you can import the H.264, H.265 or ProRes files into your video editor like Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro or Power Director. Then you can edit your reframed 360 video or immersive 360 video and export your final video. Mobile workflow for any of these cameras definitely requires a high-end smartphone. Features do vary between iOS and Android. I will talk about the Android features because that's what I have. I have a Samsung S10, and the features that are on Android might be missing on iOS, or iOS might have some features that Android doesn't, so just bear that in mind. Editing on your phone is definitely more straightforward than editing on desktop. All you need to do is tap a few buttons and things will get done. You don't need to worry about .360 files, .nsv files, or .mov files. So this is what you can do on each of these cameras based on their app. On the GoPro app, you can edit a 360 video clip into a reframed 360 video clip individually. Now, if you want to make a multi-clip edit, then you need to export your reframed 360 video from all your individual 360 video clips. Then you get your collection of reframed 360 video clips, which are already edited and exported, and then put that into a new timeline. So yeah, it's a bit of a clunky workflow. But you can add color, you can add music, you can boost your voice above the background music, you can change the aspect ratio from 16:9 to 1:1 to 9:16, and the maximum export resolution is 1080p. You can also export a 4K video from your 5.6K 360 video to your phone. You can grab a still from your 5.6K 360 video. If you want to see more features of the GoPro app, then definitely check out my GoPro app tutorial, which will show you exactly how it works. On the ONE R app, you can edit a reframed 360 video from your 360 video clips individually, and if you want to make a multi-clip edit, then you just need to put your 360 video clips into a timeline and then turn it into a reframed 360 video, unlike the GoPro app where you need to actually export flat videos and then import it into another timeline to start editing. In the ONE R app, it's all done on one timeline, which means you're going to get better quality videos, saves you so much time editing, and is so much more flexible because you can make edits to your reframed 360 video without having to export it again and again. You can trim your 360 footage, you can choose aspect ratio, add pivot points, there is smart tracking so the AI adds pivot points for you, you can change the field of view, you can zoom in and out to get rid of distortion, you can add color, you can add your own music, you can take a photo from the video, you can make a tiny planet in just a few taps, and you can also export 1440p videos at 100 megabits per second for really nice results. It is a sensational app. All my latest Instagram posts are edited with the ONE R app and Premiere Rush, so definitely check it out, and if you like the video quality, then you don't need a computer. You can just edit these videos all on your phone using a couple of apps. The ONE X app is nowhere near as sophisticated as the ONE R app. The ONE X app will only let you edit a reframed 360 video from a single 360 video clip. But you can actually transfer your ONE X footage into the ONE R folder so you can get all the benefits of the ONE R app with your ONE X footage, and I have a video showing you how to do that. Editing 8K footage on your phone was never going to be easy, but they have something called 8K Express Edit, and this is how it works. So you download a 4K proxy file from the camera to your phone, you then carry out your edits, reframing your 360 footage, and then when you're ready to export your video, the camera will download a 8K file to the phone, then export your final video. It will allow you to edit a reframed 360 video from a 360 video clip, so you can trim it, add pivot points, do smart tracking, but you cannot make a multi-clip edit. To be honest, I do not recommend editing 8K video on your phone. I do think this camera does need a desktop workflow to get the best out of it. Let's go through some nuisances with these cameras. So starting with the GoPro Max, the biggest problem I have with it is the workflow. It's just not as easy as the Insta360 cameras to make really cool videos really quickly and upload it online. To get the best out of the GoPro Max, you need a high-end Mac to process it to its best potential. The ONE R, it does overheat, so if you're looking to do long period of recording, like 1 hour, that's not gonna happen. So it's good for short bursts of recording. The next issue has never happened to me, but there are reports of lens fogging, but there is a solution in the box where you can put the lens into the silica gel pack and it will dry the lens up. And if you have stubby fingers, then this battery door is going to be really hard to open, but you will get used to it over time. The ONE X has the red dot of death issue where you see a red laser beam thing pointing in your footage in bright sunny weather conditions, and there is a battery draining issue. So if you leave your battery fully charged in the camera and then go to sleep, wake up the next day, you'll find that your battery has drained. So you need to make sure that you take the battery out of the camera when you're not using it. The Qoocam 8K has a really loud internal fan, so if you record a piece of footage and you want to listen to the playback of your footage, you won't even hear it because you'll just hear the fan. And as you heard from the sound test, the internal sound is really quiet. So which camera is the best 360 camera of 2020? 2020? Well, it depends on what you want to use it for. So let's go through each use case and which one's the best and why. If you are a beginner in 360, then you want something that's fun and easy to use and has a lot of support available. And it's very easy. That is the Insta360 ONE R. The ONE R app is awesome. It's just so easy and intuitive to use. There's plenty of tutorials available which are really easy to follow, step-by-step guides. The Facebook community is awesome. It's really easy to make videos and photos just using your phone. There's no need for a computer, and the biggest beginner mistake is breaking a lens. And if you do break a lens, then all you need to do is replace the 360 mod and not write off your entire camera. If you are a vlogger or journalist, then you need clear and crisp video and audio quality. The best 360 camera for you is the Insta360 ONE R. You can really easily create stories on your phone using the ONE R app. You can use the 4K mod, 360 mod, the 1-inch mod. You can plug in an external mic adapter and use the Rode Wireless Go, so you're not limited by the distance to the camera, and you can export a really high resolution video up to 1440p videos at 100 megabits per second. If you are into extreme action sports, so being airborne like skydiving, paragliding, or bungee jumping, or being on the ground like car racing, mountain biking, or parkour, then the best 360 camera for you is the Insta360 ONE R. It is a really robust action camera, and you can make it more protective by adding on the lens guards. And if you go to Insta360 store, then you can buy the accessories for your chosen sport, so you can get up and running really easily. And you can also get the GPS smart remote to add the GPS overlays onto your videos using the app and upload it onto social media in minutes. If you are into sports above the water like jet skiing, kayaking, or skiing, then the best 360 camera for you is the Insta360 ONE R. It is a really close call between the GoPro MAX and ONE R, but the reason I'm recommending you the ONE R is because if you get the twin edition, you can record yourself in 360 as well as using the 4K mod, which is waterproof inside the mounting bracket. And the edge that the ONE R has over the GoPro MAX is that it's so easy to turn your footage into a cool video and upload it onto social media. It's just so much more fun and easy than the GoPro MAX. If you like to go below the water like diving, swimming, or snorkeling, then the best 360 camera for you is the ONE R. Only the Insta360 cameras have a dive case which can go up to 30 meters below the water, and the reason I chose the ONE R over the ONE X is because it's Insta360's latest camera and it's receiving regular updates, and this one not so much. If you are into real estate doing virtual tours, then I think there are two categories. One is professional tours for the property value up to $1 million, and then there is the luxury tours for properties over $1 million. Now for professional tours, I think the best 360 camera for you is the Insta360 ONE R. It has a superior HDR photo mode where the dynamic range of the outside and inside is really good. It's all exposed very well, and for that extra resolution for luxury tours, I would go with the Qoocam 8K. If you want to film life moments like birthdays, holidays, and weddings, then the best 360 camera for you is the Insta360 ONE R. It's all down to the app. The app makes it really easy to turn raw footage into cool videos for social media, and that's why it keeps winning. If you are a photographer or artist and you're looking to make cool tiny planets and creative uses of 360 photos, then the best 360 camera for you is the Insta360 ONE R. The shutter speed can go as low as 120 seconds, so if you want to take a photo of the stars in the night sky, then this is the camera to do it, because the rest can't do it, or not as well, because the next best is 55-second shutter speed. You have HDR photo mode, you have night shot mode for taking clear photos at night with the least amount of noise, and you have raw photo mode for all that creative control. If you are a VR filmmaker looking to make documentaries, short films, or music videos, then the best 360 camera for you is the Qoocam 8K. There is a catch though. This camera has significantly improved since it launched in December 2019. Now recently I have been able to get really good 8K video out of this camera. Now I still think there's a couple of months left before this gets even better. So whilst it does win now, I think don't buy it yet. Give it a couple of months to get some more updates, and this will become a really good 8K consumer camera. If you want to live stream, then I think the best 360 camera for you is The Qoocam 8K. The Qoocam 8K has a USB-C port and a 3.5mm port, which means you can plug in an external microphone as well as charging the battery at the same time. Now, unfortunately, you can't do that with the One R. It only has one USB-C port, which you would use for charging or putting in your external microphone. So you got to choose one or the other. If you're going to do long live streams, then Kandao Qoocam 8K has got you sorted. If you want to make professional videos like free capture videos for a business social media page, then the best 360 camera for you is the Insta360 ONE X. The ONE X is the oldest and most robust 360 camera on the market. It also has the most seamless stitch line out of any of these 360 cameras. If there's one camera I would trust to not go wrong during a shoot, it is the ONE X. Overall, my two favorite 360 cameras are the Qoocam 8K and the Insta360 ONE R. Both these cameras are exceptional value for money. The reason I like the Qoocam 8K is because with the recent updates, I think it has the best video quality out of any of the consumer 360 cameras. And that makes sense because it's 8K, it has 10-bit color and a 1/2-inch sensor size. All that for only £525. You will definitely not find another 360 camera which offers 8K video in this price range. The 8K editing workflow is pretty streamlined and straightforward on desktop using Qoocam Studio, but I only recommend this camera for professionals because you do need a high-end computer to get the best out of the Qoocam 8K. The One R is my go-to everyday 360 camera because with just the One R and my phone, I can make amazing high-quality 360 videos and post it onto social media straight away. There is no need to use a computer. I can do everything on the go wherever I am. If you are considering the One R, then there are a bunch of bundles on Insta360's website which can get really confusing. So the one I recommend for you is the Insta360 ONE R Edition, because in this box you get the dual lens 360 mod for all your 5.7K reframed 360 video, and you also get the 4K mod for all your flat footage, just like how you would film with a DJI Osmo Action or GoPro Hero 8. And then on the One R app you can put together your flat 4K footage and your reframed 5.7K 360 footage all together into one single video. That's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. Let me know what you think is the best 360 camera of 2020 in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.